Hello, YouTube. How is everyone doing? Let me know when you can see me and hear me, and we will get started. Have the chat opened up here. Yay! I know there's a little bit of a lag. Yay, I see it. Okay, I am live now. Welcome in. It has been a minute. I've been in my little family bliss bubble, as I said in my email earlier today. And we've just been having just a new level of just fun and contentment, and the conversations that my husband and I have been having. We were having this like really deeply filled gratitude, kind of like inventory taking, like how did we get so lucky kind of moment. And as we were talking about the different processes and experiences and lessons we went through, I was like, oh my God, I need to share some of this, but I definitely want to share it from like the female perspective of like what I did. And then if you guys have couple like questions as far as like the couples portion, I can talk about that. So the topic today is creating your feminine bliss bubble and guarding it with your life. And I'm going to give you guys like the five sort of stages that I went through. And you can mix some of these stages up, but not all of them necessarily. So you know how there's always this talk of diversifying your portfolio? Yay, awesome. I see you guys. There's always like, okay, well, if you want to be wealthy, you have to diversify your portfolio. And I couldn't agree more. Like, you absolutely need to do that. But we also have to remember that it looks a little bit different when you are a woman. Our asset diversification also includes choosing a partner that's a part of our asset diversification. So, to kind of give you guys the five steps, and then we can dive in deeper depending on the questions you have. The number one thing that I did, like being very young, like even as a teenager, is I started diversifying my portfolio by growing myself. So diversifying my education and the skill sets that I had. And at the time, this was not something that was celebrated. I feel like, especially from the culture that I come from, it's very much about, this is what you should study and like get really good at one thing, which I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think men definitely need to follow that. But as a woman, for some reason that didn't resonate with me, and I studied a whole bunch of different things and I had a whole bunch of different skill sets. And I can tell you decades later, now at 43, about to be 44 later this year, that that has served me well. Knowing a lot of different things and having a wide variety of skill sets has served me and my life so well. And I do have mastery in some things. I don't have to have mastery in everything, but I don't want to have just mastery in one thing, if that makes sense. Like as a woman, because we go through different seasons of life, we some seasons require us to just focus on ourselves, some require us to focus more on our children. We want to have more of a variety of skill sets, but education and skills is number one. I feel like a lot of women want to skip this stage and just go into like finding a rich man to marry. Those are the women that get themselves in all kinds of trouble and then make the news and then make everyone else scared. Like, I'm not someone that could ever be ruined by a man. I'm not someone that could ever be ruined by marriage or divorce or being cheated on, because I did the number one thing right, which is I have a really wide variety of skills and education that makes me really valuable in the marketplace, so to speak. Okay. And it also gives me a lot of confidence, if that makes sense. Okay. So let's see. Number two is money earning. Number two was curating and cultivating my money earning ability. Okay. This was a big one. It's one thing to have a lot of skills and education, which is so important that it's like foundational, but some people never make it beyond this skill, meaning beyond this stage, in the sense that they can have like 48 degrees and 38 certifications, and they're like overqualified for everything, but not really, because they have no experience actually doing any of it. So I think that even when I got my first job earning minimum wage, that gave me a level of confidence and a level of trusting myself that could never come from just only being provided for. I think this is something every woman should get to experience. It's such a birthright. It's something that we've, historically fought for, and it just gives us such a confidence boost, and so it opens up dimensions of our being that you wouldn't want to leave this on the table. So, like exercising your money earning ability. Number three is I chose a partner. Obviously, I made a mistake the first time around, but doesn't matter. This time, the final one is what counts. I chose a partner that was going to be a big part of my portfolio diversification, like someone that I can always count on. Financially, I can count on him. Spiritually, I can count on him. Physically, I can count on him. Emotionally, I can count on him. So even when in the beginning we didn't have the inner work and we weren't like always getting along, one thing I could always trust is that he's like not going to divorce me. He's not going to leave me. Like he's committed. Like I chose a man that really values commitment. And that has also been a diversification because at like that gave me the power to know that I can create when I want to, what I want. I have options. I have flexibility, I have freedom, I have someone that has my back at all times, and I never have to work for money. And when you don't have to work for money, you become more valuable. It's this really weird thing that I've seen over and over again with people that retire from their jobs. When they become financially independent and they don't have to work for money and they quit their job, they actually strangely end up making a lot more money, even though they don't really intend to do that. It's because they just become more valuable because they're spending time doing things they really love and they are using like their creative energy. They become more valuable. And when you're more valuable, people just want to give you more money. So the next ones that came after, like four and five, came because I chose a really fantastic partner. Now, let me actually say this disclaimer at the end, like the ones that you can switch around. Number four was building your empire. A lot of women think when you get married and your husband is provider that you become a vegetable, that you become useless to society, you become useless, you don't move your hands and feet ever. And I don't believe that. I know I'm the kind of person that wants to create something. I love doing things. I love growing. I love learning. Like even though I don't have to ever work for money, I love working. I love creating. And because my skill sets are very valuable in the marketplace, it ends up making me money anyways, but I don't have to, right? So what I want you to do is in stage four, it's going to be your empire building stage, but I don't necessarily want you to focus on the money. I want you to focus on creating things just because you enjoy creating them and pouring your creative energy into things that you truly enjoy. And strangely enough, that tends to make us more valuable anyways, and then being able to charge for those things as desired as aligned, and then being able to invest that money and growing that money. Okay, so that's stage four. Stage five is where it's kind of like we are now. It's just life life enjoyment and what we call kind of like asset protection. So asset protection is where you're in the stage where now everything's just blissful for you. Life is so good. You have the container to enjoy life. Relationships are great. Love is great. Romance is great. Sex is great. You feel good in your body. You love what you create. Like life is just truly blissful in all the dimensions. You're closer to God that you've ever been. Like there's nothing else to achieve necessarily. It's just to enjoy. It's just to harvest. And in this stage, you go into asset protection because now the biggest thing is not letting like your energy leak or becoming a target to predators, even if it's family members just wanting to leech off of your energy. And getting, I call it your ducks in a row, getting things in place that you need to have place so that you can remain in your beautiful feminine bliss bubble that you have, worked your life to create for yourself. You have the structures in place, you have the money in place, you have the inner work in your relationship in place, you have your babies if you desire to have kids, like you have your house, you have the things, you have all the things. And this is where you go into asset protection. And I know in the masculine world, asset protection can only be about like protecting your money, and that's a part of it in the feminine world, but it's more than that, right? It's also protecting your energy, your spirituality, your time, your family system. Oops. So in the feminine realm, it's so much more than just asset protection, even though that is a part of it. So let me see what you guys are saying. Let's see. Hello, 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 everyone. Any questions coming up? What stage are you in? This was kind of like the exception to the rule. Some women end up building their empire before they meet their partner. Then, when that happens, you kind of have to think about asset protection before. You might have to like even start thinking about it before you get into the union. So it's just a little bit different than what I had, but a lot of women do end up building their empire before they get married. So then you want to make sure that you are building in those asset protection things before you get into the union, just so you can keep away predators, if that makes sense. Kayla said stage 4 to stage 5 is such a big change. Yes. Oh, I feel like it is a big change. And it is, let me read the rest of your thing and I can talk more about it. It's psychologically probably the hardest. Stage 4 to stage 5 is such a big change. I'm struggling with container expansion. I'm learning to keep living and not making up fake, what is it? Fake rules for myself. Um, Yeah, it's so interesting. I see a lot of people in the early retirement community struggling with this, like the financial independence people, because you spend such a big chunk of your life in the empire building stage that your neural pathways are so highly developed that it's very hard to move past that. I know my husband struggled with this. I know I've struggled with this, where the pull to just like go back into building more of the empire versus just letting that be in the background. And someone that I truly, truly admire, and we've looked up to him for a long time in the when we were in the fire community, in the financial independence community, he said this the best. He said that your money should become like tap water. Yes, clean tap water is essential. It's important and everyone should have it. But those of us that have it, we don't really think about it. It's not on the front of our mind. It's just something that we enjoy, but we don't really talk about. Like, who talks about having clean tap water, right? Only people who don't really have it. People who have it, it's just been normalized. And I thought that was truly profound, as simple as it sounds, because I'm like, oh my God, that's that like last stage where money will never, ever, ever be a problem anymore. Time will never be a problem anymore. Options will never be a problem anymore. Energy will never be a problem anymore. So then how do you survive and live where those things are not even discussed in your reality when that's all you've been focused on for so long? So I totally get it. I know I had struggled with this as well. But let me tell you, being on the other end, it's just, I think I don't even feel safe having this conversation with most people because most people don't even know, they're not even close to there yet. So I'm glad I'm able to talk to you guys about it. And I talk about this stuff in my Money Grid membership because everyone is wealthy in that and we're all dealing with like similar things of like really just expanding into bliss and allowing ourselves to be whole and happy and so blissful despite anything else going around, right? Despite where anyone else is, like allowing ourselves to be happy. I had a question. Are some people just born as million dollar babes In my acquaintance, I have seen daughters of rich men exhibit million-dollar babe energy from young age without being self-aware Barbie prior. Yeah, so we're all born that way, but a lot of things happen in our childhood, sometimes even in utero, that create trauma in our lives. So yes, everyone is born that way essentially, but some people actually even get traumatized in the womb. If you read my book, I talk about how motherline traumas can happen in the womb space. So yes, that means that those girls don't really have any trauma, right? Like my daughter is like that. She just was born with million-dollar babe energy and even high in divinity energy, and she doesn't even know what's anything different. So yeah, absolutely. When you said asset protection, what do you mean exactly? So what I mean by that is when you have a really beautiful relationship, when you have beautiful kids and a happy life and abundance of money, people that don't have that and either desire it, but they don't know like how to project that desire in a healthy way, they might show up and create drama in your life, or they might show up and try to push boundaries, or they might show up and try to rock the boat, or, you know, point fingers, or kind of like do things to you and your family, even though they just want what you have, they don't know how to express that in a healthy way. It could be family members, it could be in-laws, it could be anyone, right? So asset protection is really about getting firmer on your couple bubble. I taught that in in my conscious couples course. If you guys remember, I talked about creating a couple bubble so that it's you and your partner and everyone on the outside of that. No one can pierce the bubble. And all decisions are made within this bubble. And that way, if whether it's his family or your family or his friends or your friends, they all know their place and they all know that the most important relationship is your and your partner's relationship. And then after that, it's your family unit, right? So it's like putting an energetic fence around your home, your family, your marriage, your money. And so, and then beyond that, obviously, it's having trust funds and uh, prenups and postnups and things that you need in place so that you as a woman can continue to feel safe, that you will never like me, at my level, like I know that there's nothing that can derail me because I have so many assets, not only physical assets, but like energetic assets. Like I'm so educated and my skill set is so varied. And then I'm protected from my like even like physical asset protection so that I could never make it below like even at the survival stage again. And so because I know that I will never be there again, I can truly relax and be a great wife and be a great mother and be a great teacher without worrying, oh no, do I need to make more money? And do what if I don't earn money this month? Or what if my partner does this to me? Like all of my ducks are in a row. Like no one can harm me because I have protected myself from all the places that are humanly and energetically possible. I missed the stages, but I have all the degrees and certificates, but got stuck, so I'm building my empire alongside my union. Beautiful. And that's okay. Just, I think it doesn't have to necessarily go in the right order. Like I'm just sharing it in the order I had it. But as long as we're aware of these things, like for example, if I didn't mention asset protection, you might not even realize that after empire building, there should be things that you should have in place to protect your energy and time and your actual assets, right? It's just like copyright laws. They protect our intellectual property. Well, how do you protect your energy? How do you protect your actual property? We get insurance. There's different things that you can do. I miss initial conversation, but right now I just want to get married, make babies, and enjoy life. Beautiful. Currently at stage two as a stay-at-home mom. Could that be merged with stage four? Um, I did, but it depends on I think everyone's different. For example, I started my YouTube channel, I started my blog right after I got married. I think a month or two after I got married, I started my blog, which I do not have anymore. It was called The Universe Guru. For those of you guys that may have heard me talk about that, for a year I had that. Then when I had my second son, Ayan, he was 6 months, and I think this was like 18 months after our marriage. I started my YouTube channel. So then when Alina was almost 3, I started this business. So I was able to do it. Some people tell me they can't because they say things like, I can't start a business because I have a baby, or I can't start a business because I have 2 kids. And if they're saying that, it must be true for them, but I can do all the things that I want to do. So I was able to do it, but it depends on you, I would say. You have to be honest with yourself and see what you can do. I was thinking the same thing today. Mystic said I can never go back to the previous stage because I'm so much more educated now. That's why I love education, because it's like you can't unknow things. Like you can't unlearn things or unsee things that you have gained as education. So I love that. Yes. I want to have fun working and creating what I like rather than being miserable, creating for my employer, looking for my provider man. Awesome. I'm working on creating my own container while in a marriage partnership that is completely platonic, staying for the kids. Any advice for someone in a platonic marriage building my own way? Um, if you could ask me a direct question, that would be more helpful. I'm not sure how to direct my advice because I don't know what you're feeling. Hello, Mina. Do you think a man who has 3 children is husband material? He has all the things on my love list. Um, Babe, this is a personal coaching question because I don't know anything about him other than he has 3 kids. I don't know his job. I don't know his bloodline. I don't know what his dad does, how his dad treated his mom. I don't know anything about the other men in his family. I don't know whether these children are out of wedlock. I don't know how he treats these children. So I would have to have you on a coaching call to be able to answer such a big question if he sees marriage material. Did you have any challenges creating a family bubble when you remarried and have a blended family? Um, I don't really have a blended family in the traditional sense. We don't really see our family as a blended family. So, um, I got married and remarried, and I had a 4-year-old from my previous marriage, but his father chose not to stay in his life. So, there's no exes in the picture. Irfan raised Armaan as if it's his own son. If you ask Irfan how many kids do you have, he says he has 3 kids. And so I think my biggest issue was creating a couple bubble. So in the beginning, I came from a place of mistrust. So if Irfan would want to like have opinions about Arman or parenting him in a way that's different than mine, I would get triggered by that instead of realizing that I Irfan is a man, he's not a woman, and he brings a different dynamic to parenting. That was a big lesson for me, and I really struggled with this. Irfan's friend had just married a stay-at-home mom, I'm sorry, a single mom, and it really backfired for him. In fact, now all of these men in the circle are like, no one marry a single mom, and that's really sad because a lot of these guys would be great as like fathers, but I can see why they're saying that because this woman wanted him to have all the responsibilities of a father but none of the discipline that's required. He wasn't allowed to say anything. And it ultimately destroyed their marriage. So a lot of men are rightfully scared to marry single mothers. Like when I learned how I was behaving and I became self-aware, I really apologized to Irfan and I made sure that he never felt like he was discriminated against by me because he was a stepfather, even though he was doing everything more than even a real father would, right? Real than most fathers do. So I don't blame men when they're scared of marrying single moms because single moms can be really tough to parent with. And I know I didn't make it really easy for Irfan to parent for sure. That was the toughest part for us. Once I learned self-awareness and I could see what I was doing wrong, it was a lot easier. Hi, Mina. Any advice how I can stay in my feminine energy as a successful day trader? So I don't really like this question because it doesn't make any sense. Um, you just are a feminine woman and you go to work and you do work things and you use the energy that's required of you there. And then when you're not at work, you use other energies. If you can start rewiring yourself for this, you'll never have to worry about how do I stay in my feminine energy. Why do you want to stay in your feminine energy is my first question. Is that useful at work? I don't think it's useful for me to stay in my feminine energy at work all the time, if that makes sense. So I just use the appropriate energy. So, for example, if I rephrase the question, I said, if I asked you, hey babe, how can I keep my eyes open when I'm trying to sleep? What would you say to me? You would say, but you're supposed to close your eyes when you go to sleep. That's what's required to go to sleep. So that's kind of how it is. Like, don't worry about that. Let yourself normalize using all of your energies as needed. Okay. Hi, Rakila. Happy to have you. Thank you for your teachings. Thank you. How do we set a couple bubble, the honeymoon? So this work is in my conscious container course. Let me link that for you guys. It's a whole process that you do with your partner. It's your own individual inner work and then inner work together that helps create that. I don't always talk about this course, but it's so amazing. So let me definitely go ahead and link it for you guys here. It's so amazing for helping you build that. Here it is. Just couples. Ah, I'm spelling it incorrectly. When I type by fast, I miss things. Okay, there it is for you guys. How do you protect your bubble when there is a stepchild that lives half time within a completely different high conflict household? So your couple bubble does not include children. So it just includes you and your partner. So the good news is that you have half time to cultivate that. A lot of parents don't have that. For example, Irfan and I had to build our couple bubble with Armaan there full time, and Armaan was a very high conflict child. I don't know if you guys know my history, but we had a lot of issues. He was diagnosed with a lot of things. Like he's fully healed and whole now, but his childhood was pretty crazy. So we had to work and build our couple bubble with him there full time. So I would say it's a lot easier for you when the child is not there to be able to build that. And your couple bubble does not include anyone other than you and your partner. It doesn't include work. It doesn't include friends. It doesn't include in-laws. It doesn't even include your own children. So you are perfectly positioned to do this. Trust me, if I can do it with a difficult child there full time, you can do it. It's so easy. Let me see. Hi, Mina. I just wanted to share that I'm watching your Million Dollar Babe course again, and I feel like it's new even though it was there in the live session, even though I was there in the live sessions, it's so funny. Yes, because you're new. You have a new level of consciousness, and I love this. I was having the same experience yesterday. I was rewatching someone that I used to follow way back in the day, like 10 years ago, and I haven't like watched any of his content for like 10 years, and I was rewatching it and I was having a whole new experience with the same content, and I was like, "Oh my God," because I'm so different in 10 years. So, yes, I know exactly what you mean. What is your opinion of a step parent trying to parent an adult child? It could be a good thing or a bad thing depending on the situation. So I have an adult child. Armaan is 19. He will be 20 this year. And Irfan is still a huge support system for him. Just yesterday, Armaan was getting help from Irfan on paying his taxes because Armaan's an entrepreneur. There's, different things you have to do, right? You have to pay your taxes every 3 months, your estimated taxes, and things like that. So some people might consider that parents a step parent parenting an adult child, but it's very much welcome. They both enjoy it. It's part of Armand's like masculine alpha tribe mentoring. So in that scenario, it's amazing. But in other scenarios, depending on what's going on, it may be different. So I would need more context to be able to answer that. But in my family, it's very much welcomed and it works because adults need a lot of guidance as well. Of course, we're still learning, so he has a lot of questions, and I'm so happy that he does have that support. Your goal, thanks for answering. It makes so much sense. We make things difficult. Yes, we sure do. We do. It's just human nature. I know. We all. I used to have the PhD of making things difficult, so trust me, I know that. I'm thankful for you, Mina, because you offer an alternative path for women. Now in my 20s, I still feel the immense societal pressure to climb up the career school work ladder. Yes, I know what you mean. I think that pressure will always be there. And but what's going to happen is the more you become sure of yourself and the decisions that you're making, and the more you really truly start enjoying your life from all the dimensions, it's gonna help you. Like I'm like, yes, the societal pressure will always be there. Like even for me, it's still always there. When I talk to like my coaching friends, they're like, "Why are you taking it so easy? Like you have this beautiful audience, like you should do this, this, and this." And I'm like, but I don't want to, right? Like I want time and energy for all the things. Like Alina and I have such a so it's so interesting. I have my own schedule daily, and then Alina and I have a schedule, and then Irfan and I have a schedule, and then like the boys and I have a schedule, and then we have a family schedule, and then I have this too, and I like that I can come to this, but if I had to do this, I don't want to pull away from anything else either. And so I get to do all the things. Like Alina and we have like our daily feminine rituals that we do every single day. And then we have our weekly outing. We call it like our gathering trip where we go shopping and have lunch. And right now we are both like cleaning out our closets together. So I helped her spring clean her closet. Now she's helping me spring clean my closet. Like having this timelessness in our life is so important. And sure, yeah, if I wanted to make more money, sure, I could, but is money the only optimizer of life? Like, I'm never gonna have this time again with Alina. Like, she'll never be 10 again. She'll never be 10 again. And like, I'm already making so much. Like it's automated and my husband's making so much. So like I think society pushes us to over optimize this one area of our life. Like will I ever have this time again to like work out with my I hope I do forever, but like life can be unpredictable. She's going to grow up older, like this is such a blissful time. I wouldn't want to sacrifice it just because society tells me that I can and should make more money, if that makes sense, right? I say no to opportunities that most people would want to, like, they'd like give their left kidney. You know what I mean? Those are the kind of things I'm saying no to on a daily basis. But what I'm saying yes to, most people can only, they can't even dream of. What I'm saying yes to is so much more delicious. And it's just so good. Why would I want to over optimize one area of my life? So that's what you have to think about and look at. Going through your feminine business course now, and it's pure gold. Your transformation is incredible and inspiring. Oh my God, that was my first business course that I created. And I didn't like even create it because I wanted to create it. It was something my students were asking for, and I was reluctant because I'm like, business, like, but I made it, and I'm so glad that 6 years later, it's still being enjoyed. And now you can see what happened. It's like you starting to read a book that you know the ending of, but it's still the journey is still very delicious. Yeah, I hope that's your experience of it. Mina is 11 years, age gap a lot. I'm 26 and he's 37. He has a daughter without marriage, and I am still a virgin. He has a daughter without marriage? I forget about the age. That's a big red flag. He has a child out of wedlock is a big red flag for personally for me. Forget the age. I'm not like think of all of these different knobs. And actually, I'm gonna do a training for you guys on this soon, maybe next week, where we talk about the different knobs. Age gap is just one knob, but there's other knobs. This is too big of a red flag for me. Um, I would could never even imagine being with a man who has a child out of wedlock. That already tells me everything I need to know about this guy. Mina, I've tried to plug into marriage and parenting grids online forums, but many of these support groups are addicted to suffering. Only you have the blissful, juicy community. Thank you. Thank you, Christian. I'm so happy to hear that. I've seen this myself and I have a hard time. That's why I like isolate myself from the internet and like I only go there to learn and like I stay away from comments and forums and communities now because I'm like I gotta protect my energy. I don't want to do that. The thing is, whatever energy the creator has gets amplified in the group. So if the creator has some subconscious or overt addiction to suffering, then they'll keep that's what's in the groups. When you don't have that, you're not gonna keep that. Like I will block people, delete people, yell at people, offend people on purpose sometimes to get rid of people that are addicted to suffering because I want to create a beautiful experience for you guys. And I don't have any entanglement for that. Some people can't do that because they don't realize that they need that too in their life. So that's why you have to be careful because it is we are people we as a species we plug into grids without even realizing it and we start absorbing that stuff. So I like to stay in like in my actual physical life, I'm surrounded by happy couples who are really, really wealthy. Like that's my normal. All my neighbors are wildly successful financially and in marital and in their parenting and they're health conscious and like and my family is like that like everyone I'm surrounded with is like that, so I'm not gonna purposely like go out there and like go and put myself in grids that are not of the same vibe. Do you like I'm not gonna downgrade my life by plugging into grids. If I want to watch something and if it's useful, but the community is kind of like eek, I'll stay away from the comments. I'll just like screencast it on my like you know how you can watch YouTube on your thing. I don't go on Facebook like ever now. Um, like yeah, my team posts on my Instagram that I think automatically posts on Facebook page on my Facebook page, but I don't even my real life is so high definition that so there's nothing on social media that's more enticing. So I just use it for education purposes. If there's an author that I want to see if he was on any podcast, or like people like that that I want to follow to learn from, I'll follow them and learn from them, but I don't engage in the communities because they're not going to be as high vibe as mine. My community is the most high vibe that I see, so I just stick with my community. Because I've trained my people to know certain things about themselves and they have the self-awareness to not be addicted to suffering. Thank you for that. I'm having issue setting energetic boundaries with an overbearing step parent. For context, I'm 25 and he's been married to my mom for 1 year. Which course for energetic boundary? I would say, can you guys help a little bit? I'm trying to think which one will be the best one. Personal power activation might be really great for that. You guys sometimes know more about my courses than I even know. Would you guys agree? Where's my university bundle students? But what I would say to you is if he's overbearing, start thanking him for everything he does and being extra sweet. And I know it's almost counterproductive, but sometimes step parents can be in this trap of like being gratitude, or like they can be like addicted to wanting validation for their parenting. And then they like keep overdoing it. So it's really weird, but you almost have to overgive it. And then here's one thing that Armand does to both Irfan and I, and it's kind of funny. But he always says this thing because I can be like that too, where I go into this mode where I want to like remind Arman of everything. Well, it's because he's like 19 and he's doing all these wild and crazy things. And I always want to be like, be careful and all this stuff. So he always says, thanks for the reminder, mom. And when he says this, it makes me realize that I've already been a really great parent and I've already taught him all the things. And so I think that's like his code word for letting us know that we've already taught him how to be a good person and how to be a efficient adult. So if you can do that, him doing that has helped me so much because then next time when I say something, I'm like, oh, he already knows that because I can intuit what he's gonna say. So almost like play like the opposite of what your natural tendency is. Savage feminine. Okay, yes, that one. I was it was coming to my mind, but I was hesitant to say that because I don't know if it would help in a step parent situation, but it could. Personal power activation, Princess agrees. Savage feminine has the energetic finger and spiritual boundaries. Yes, it does. I forgot about that. You're right. That's what came to my mind after personal power. Yes. Okay. Savage feminine, personal power. So, Vanya, if it's okay, I'd like to stick to the topic of what we're talking about as much as possible. I feel like polarity is too much of a can to open right now in this training. I teach this deeply in my conscious couples course, and so I highly recommend that. I'll throw the link once again in the chat because it's too much to open up. It's That's a big topic, right? I think I had missed some questions. I have a free YouTube video on how to protect your energy as well, because I see a lot of people asking about that. Let me go ahead and find it. I think I have quite a few, but I definitely have, oh my God, I have so many. There's so many that I can't even begin to link them. If you search for how to protect energy, the universe grew, there I have a lot of free content on this topic. Like hours and hours of live streams. What are some self-coaching techniques to pull ourselves out of the struggle addiction? So, what I would recommend is my 21 day, I think you already probably have this, my 21 day end the struggle. It has 21, I think it has more than that now because I've been adding to that course. 21 embodiments to get yourself unaddicted to suffering and struggle. Here it is, 21 days. Sometimes we think we need new information, but we just need to practice consistently what we already know. Um, Thank you for this. I realize that I don't resonate with the energy from my extended family and currently setting energetic boundaries. How to help embody alongside my husband. So, Erica, let me say this. This is not for everyone. I'm not saying that I'm being a good role model when I say this, but I also like to be honest with you guys. I you can call me a bitch, you can call me names, I'm okay with it. I am the kind of person that I don't care who you are because I love myself and my family a lot. I've just cut ties with extended family member that don't vibe with me. I love them. I wish them well. There's no hard feelings. If I see them at family events, I always meet them as if there was never a gap. I ignore anything they say for that time period, but I make absolutely zero effort in keeping and maintaining anything. And it's not coming from a place of closed heart. It's not coming from a place of hate. It's not coming from a place of resentment or unforgiveness. Like I said, I deeply love them. I do. But I love my children and myself and my marriage more. And I feel like once you are committing to a life with someone in marriage, and when you're committing to having kids, that becomes and should be your number one priority. I do not take that lightly. It's one of my core values. So there's a lot of extended family. So to give you context, my mom had seven siblings and my dad has eight siblings. And then they all have like at least three or four, sometimes seven kids each. Some families have seven. So when you to start doing the math, I come from a very, 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 very large family and so does Irfan. So even though we've cut ties with some people, we still have a huge family. There's always something to do, someone to love on, the weddings to go. There's always still people. And I've created a new family with you guys. So my life is not missing anything from having those people not be there. And I'm sure they don't want me either because my lifestyle is just so different than theirs. Like, I don't know how we would even mesh because I'm all like God and spirituality and high vibes, and they're just different. And I'm not saying I'm better than them, but they're just different. I don't think that I would fit into their world either. We're like two different puzzle pieces from two different puzzle boxes. We just don't fit together. So I think it's a win-win. So I'm not saying I'm a good role model for doing so. I'm not telling you to leave your family. I'm just saying that I did do that. I did. And I'm okay with it. I've taught my kids the same thing. I'm like, look, loving someone doesn't mean they have to be in your life. You can love from a distance. I have been doing the 21 day and the struggle twice now. Beautiful. Those techniques are really helpful. I still use them, by the way. I still have moments where I need to use them. My question, um, babe, question one, I don't know who that is. So I cannot speak to that. Question two, should wives have their own income streams, passive income, and receive an allowance in the form of a W-2 so that I always secure? yes to whatever you want to do. What do you desire? There is no like standard like wife formula. I tried to create a blueprint to give you guys a template. What do you want to do? Are you the kind of wife that likes having your income, your own income? I do. I just love creating and I love being compensated for my divine work. What do you love to do? Okay. What do you like? How do you want to be compensated? What does that look like for you? You get to create it any way you want to. What makes you feel good? What makes you feel safe? What makes you feel delicious? What makes you feel high vibe? What do you want to do? I couldn't agree more about loving from a distance. This is my life. Yay! And sometimes people will like separate, but then they're like hating, and that person is still on their mind. It's still there. That person is at a distance physically, but energetically, they're still taking real estate in your world. I prefer to do it where it's like, I love you so much. I wish you nothing from but the best. Like I will celebrate all of your wins, everything. Like I'm so happy, except our lives are just different, right? So there's no hard feelings. They're not taking up real estate. Like I'm sure you can tell from my energy that I like wish them well. Like I'm just so happy for them. They're just different. Like even the way I dress would offend them because they have different beliefs and that's okay. Maybe I'm the wrong one, right? But I want the freedom to dress how I want to dress. I want to have the kind of relationship that I want to have and I want to raise my children the way I want to raise my children. And they get to do the same. How do you deal if you see them at family events? Do you still hug them and say hi? So to give you an idea, I hug everyone and say hi to everyone. I don't care who it is. I will, if I see you on the street and you smile at me, I might hug you and say hi. So yes, the answer is yes. I just love life and I just really enjoy life and I just love seeing happy people. So yes, I do hug everyone. I say hi. There's never any hard feelings from me. If someone ever accuses me of anything, then I will just apologize and like keep having fun. So like I don't defend myself. I just agree with everything everyone says. So for example, if I went to a party and I hugged and I said hi to someone, and then someone said, Mina's a greedy bitch, I won't deny it. So I might like I'll still keep enjoying the party. I won't deny it. I won't get triggered. If someone says, how come you never call? I'm like, oh my God, I do need to make so much more effort. I need to call you more often. And so I just have so much to be grateful for. I just have such a beautiful life. I just want to enjoy it. So yeah, I just enjoy life. And I also never, ever, ever want to disrespect someone's party. They obviously spent a lot of money and time creating that event for us, and we're there to enjoy. And so we just have fun. Beautiful, ladies. Thank you so much. I think I'm going to end this session here. I might go live on the main channel for a little bit and say hi there. I think I'll keep the chat open only to members so you guys can ask follow-up questions there. But I wanted this training to just be about kind of giving you guys this blueprint, something to think about, and I really enjoyed this private time with you guys. I'm going to be doing a lot more lives and master classes just for us. So that's definitely the plan. And I still might do stuff in the regular channel. I just feel like I feel safer in a smaller community just because I do share so much more of my personal stuff. So definitely gonna keep it that way here. Just keep it like low key and just between us, and then do more general stuff in the normal YouTube and maybe more recorded videos there as well. So I hope you guys enjoy this. By the way, this Wednesday is Devi. My course is starting. I'm super excited about this course, ladies. This is the level after Savage Feminine. Even if you're not ready for it yet, I would highly recommend joining because there will be a time where you're embodied all the savage energy and you're going to want a next level, and then this course will have gone up in price by that time, and you're going to be like, damn, I wish I would have just grabbed it then. And also sometimes being in levels of energies that are more ahead of us can also help us, because it can bridge that gap. Even if you don't get everything out of it, it will bridge that gap. And I'm just really excited about this course. I feel like it's at a whole new level that I've taught, obviously, because it's like new for 2024. It's embodying a lot of the things that I've recently embodied myself. I'm kind of like in it and want to teach it while it's still fresh in my mind. And I'm going to be doing the teacher thing and the student thing alongside with you. So it'll be a lot of fun. Classes start Wednesday, March 6th, and the cart closes tomorrow. Thank you, everyone. I love you guys. This was so much fun. Thank you. All right. I might see you guys on the other channel. I'm not sure. I'm going to see if I want to go live there. But if I do, I'll see you guys there. Bye, everyone.